your soul. I know we need each other. I know our love is strong. We're still riding down this road. Ooh, my love, I can feel you in my bones. This is real. I hear your voice too close. Oh, this feeling grows while I'm filling up this void. Far away, far beyond the limits. Every day, finding our soul. Anyway, it feels like coming home. Coming home.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Happy Black History Month. I am Doc So. I am the director of Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy, and welcome to the first of several attempts to stream daily, Monday through Friday, in commemoration of Black History Month. This is a passion project of mine. I initially started this, I wanted to start it last year, but my mom was preparing to leave us, and I just couldn't get myself together. And so I said, this year I'm going to go ahead and knock it out of the park. I had actually several drawings that I was preparing to do videos for a character for each day for Black History Month on my iPad. And I had it mapped out and everything, and wouldn't you know it, I lost it all, right? My iPad crashed. I did not know at the time that iPad did not self-back up, and so it took me a while to get back to my iPad. Let's just say that. I had lost a lot of art on my iPad, and so I said, this year I'm just going to go ahead and go live. I want to get into the habit of just this year getting in front of you guys now that the school is up and running. We have an incredible team. We have incredible students. I don't know if anybody's watching tonight, but my students and my team are incredible. And I'm excited for what the future holds for Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy. And so if you are interested in learning from the pros, how to draw like the pros, go to kapowschool.com or check us out. You can schedule. We are now taking enrollment applications and doing interviews for 23-24, and we're only taking 10 spots. It's a small, intimate school that is another passion project for me personally, and we endeavor to give our students the best possible one-on-one experience, mentoring in a small group setting where they learn the comic craft from me and my friends in the industry. And so with that being said, tonight we're doing Lothar. We're doing Lothar, and if you didn't know, Lothar is He is the first black superhero, definitively. Okay, I'm going to kind of see if I can pull this up really quick, give you a brief history on the significance of this character, and the role that he plays in comics as we know it today. He's not by any stretch of the imagination a small fry, even though I don't feel as if Lothar has historically been given his just desserts. But Lothar is a character that, let me tell you something. This dude, he was Superman before there was Superman. And so I'm going to go through really quickly a quick summary of who this character is and why he's so important. Lothar is the first of black crime-fighting superheroes to ever appear in mainstream. Alongside, he first appeared in Mandrake the Magician in 1934, and he is the first black character. It's kind of a consensus that he's the first black character to have been treated with any modicum of dignity and respect, which is, as we know, is crucial for representation. You know, you have to treat characters respectfully. You can't, just do what you want to with them, which was often the case in, regrettably, way back when, especially during his creation. And so Lothar was a heavy hitter. He had dignity. He was actually a prince of the Seven Kingdoms, and I actually think that Lothar quite possibly could have been one of the predecessors to Black Panther. One of the things we have to consider when we are talking about any type of creative endeavor, it is curation of things that preceded it. And it would be no surprise to me that when Stan Lee and his crew came up with the idea of Black Panther, that this was very much in 1934 something that he had referenced and decided to kind of prop up Black Panther on. And see, back then, though, when he first appeared, he was a product of his time, even though eventually, thankfully, King's Features Syndicate kind of pivoted, and they started treating the character with a little more respect, because he was once referred to in 1935 as Mandrake's giant black slave. And so they pivoted from that eventually. Kudos to them. But he has gone on to new heights, and he's technically the first black superhero because, as superheroes are defined, he actually has superpowers that are often overlooked. This is his first appearance. He had the fez and the leopard skin. He was fully clothed oftentimes, and even though we still have this jungle motif that was typical for characters of that era, black characters of that era, they were trying to find some visual association with the African continent. The fez I quite didn't understand. I know that's that it also comes from the African continent, but it was a little off-putting to me personally. But I get the effort. I get it. But very shortly he was fully clothed, and they kind of kept the same visual cues using the leopard skin, and they put him in pants, and he stopped speaking broken English and he started speaking very intelligently, as do his station. One of the things that I never quite understood personally, if I'm being quite honest, is why would the prince of 7 African kingdoms forego his throne and his inheritance to pursue Mandrake, to follow Mandrake around the world, initially as his servant? You go from being a prince to a servant. It just really didn't make a lot of sense to me, but these were the times. The characters were products of the times, and believe it or not, I can't really come down too hard on it, because they were very intentional and progressive in attempting to change how we were represented in comics back in the day. And so eventually, believe it or not, the character actually became the Phantom. And so in recent publications, I believe by Boom Studios, Lothar filled in and took the place of the Phantom, the Ghost Who Walks. One of the things that I never quite, and this is my iteration, this is something that I did around when my mom left us, that I reinterpreted him in my own way, which is what I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna go with tonight. There are a lot of things that I like about this. I was trying to keep some of the visual reference, but I'm going to pull from this on tonight's drawing, and we're going to see how much of this we can knock out in the setting. I haven't gotten this system down, so ideally we'll see how much we can get done in an hour and a half and 2 hours. Not fully colored, I can guarantee you that. But we're going to go ahead and switch screens really quickly. And I would be drawing some of this traditionally, as I love to draw traditionally, but I have commissions on my table and my studio's a wreck. And so we're gonna go ahead and do this one digitally. All right, okay, let's do this. All right, okay, I'm working right now in Clip Studio Paint. I'm working in Clip Studio Paint. All right, you see I have a little rough sketch here of a possible pose that I was thinking about going with, and I think we can just go ahead and go with that one. And as I am prone to do, I like, yes, apply transformation information. I like to play with colors, and so I have this color thing going on. So we're gonna go ahead and get our pencil, and I'm gonna create another layer, and we're gonna go with this pose. Might end up shrinking them down a little bit. I'm just blocking in the basic shapes that I'm gonna go with. Hope everyone's having a good night. It's cold here in Chicago, but we're gonna get through it. And I am flying, as my name denotes, I'm flying solo tonight. My lovely wife is out of town, waiting for my baby to get back. Gonna have this arm back a little bit, coming forward. This is the pose we're going to go with. Kind of hunched over. Ready to do his thing. And what makes him the first black superhero is actually he is the first black character in the comics. In comics, it was strips back then, to actually have super powers, and no weapon formed by man could harm him, right? So he had this mystical thing about him that no man-made weapon could harm him, and he had the strength of 7 elephants, or he could lift 7 elephants. And if you know, that's no small feat. So we're talking super strength, we're talking invulnerability, right? And coupled with Mandrake's magic, I can assume they would have made an incredible foe. I don't think they did a lot though with his power set. You know, if I were to revisit this character, I would wind back the clock and revisit that. I did read the iteration where he took on the mantle of the Phantom in the Phantom's absence, and still, again, there was really no reference to his superpowers, right? And so, I don't know. At that point, he's just an adventurer, which is fine, you know. Me, I'm kind of old school. I like the superhero element, right? I kind of like the fact that no weapon formed by man could harm him. I mean, that put him in a different class. They kind of touched on it in I don't know if you guys remember the Defenders of the Earth back in the day, which was a animated TV show. I actually have all of the episodes of Defenders of the Earth, and man, let me tell you, it was. I remember watching it as a kid. And just totally being captivated. And Lothar, my two favorite characters were admittedly Lothar and the Phantom, right? It was Lothar and the Phantom. Those are my two favorite characters. So we're blocking in the shapes here. I'm going to do the atypical comic book cheat here, and we're going to creatively create a cliff or something with some brush and some grass to kind of obscure the legs. It kind of saves on drawing time. And trust, I teach my students, draw the legs, draw the feet, especially when you're learning. But today we're just going to try to get through this. I had some in my other stream with my studio channel. I had some issues today, and it kind of rattled me. I found it very draining. And so my energy, I had to get, because I was panicking because I wanted to get everything right for tonight. You see me looking back. I'm looking at my reference of this guy, and so I can remember what I did back then. I remember I wanted him to have some type of adornments because I wanted to allude to his royal stature, being the Prince of Seven Kingdoms. So I gave him this neck piece, right, to kind of bling him up a little bit, as well as I wanted to kind of show, the physique. And so that's why I have this open area here with this vest. And he has a sash. I like the sash because I did want to kind of what's the word? I wanted to kind of allude to his and of course I kept the leopard skin, but I put it, right here on his shoulders. It's almost like a framing. I love redesigning characters and updating them. You're going to probably see a lot more of that as I go through, because, regrettably, a lot of the characters that I currently have on my list, they were products of their time. And, we have evolved as creators. We've evolved a little bit as a society, not as much as we know from, media events, as much as, we like to think. Kept the bald head. That was a pleasure to keep, especially. That's why I wear that. The cap is a Malcolm X hat, but if you see me, it's not because of Black History Month. This is kind of my thing. I wear this hat all the time. I'm thinking about getting them done in different colors. Now the shirt is definitely, this is a Ka-Pow original. Okay. I had this actually made last year when I initially planned on doing these streams to, really, pay homage and, celebrate the month. Let's see, I'm making very sure to keep the contours of the bands. And you see each pass, I'm kind of darkening it up a little bit more as I start to dial in. And actually, I could do a lot of this just in inks, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump to that really quick so we can get through this. Because I have a tendency, I'm so used to doing fully rendered sketches. And believe it or not, it's not necessarily the most efficient. But for me, you know, as I tell my students all the time, if you get 10 different artists, you're going to get 10 different ways of doing things. And that's the truth. Okay, so it's not about it being right or wrong. It's about finding a system and a method that works for you. You know, I really don't like this on there. Let me see something. I'm going to see if we can move it. Yeah, kind of like it there. Yeah, I like it there. I like it there. Okay. So yeah, we're going to try to keep this music going. It's all copyright free because I like to have background noise when I'm drawing. Oftentimes it's not music though, honestly. A lot of times it's just the TV or podcast or something like of that sort. I don't know. Okay, so this is me with getting my I haven't quite completely gotten this the hang of Clip Studio. My students, some of my students, and my other instructor, I'm a native Photoshop guy, and so I determined to kind of learn Clip Studio. I know how to use the drawing tools, but I'm determined to get as confident with Clip Studio because it is a very robust program for specifically drawing comics, as opposed to Photoshop, which was, you know, it was for the most part it was hijacked by comic book artists. We kind of took it and ran with it, you know. Yeah, we kind of took it and ran with it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna just call that good. Give him a blade right there. He's got a pocket going on there. Let's see. His boots have got this leopard skin here. Kind of bunch there. We got the leopard skin there. All right, let's get to drawing. Well, we've been drawing, but let's get to adding details. All right. Go and knock this back a little bit so it doesn't interfere with what I'm trying to do with my eye. It's a little bit thin for my taste. Let's go ahead and bump that up a little bit. There we go. If anybody's watching or you have any questions, if you chime in, please feel free to ask. And if it's just me in here, that's good, because I was going to do this anyway. You know, I made a commitment this year that I was going to start live streaming more because, number one, we need the audience. And, you know, as a school, to kind of show the level of instruction. And, you know, I don't want it to be just me. I'm going to have some of my instructors in here as well. You guys were very receptive to our AI debate that we had a couple of weeks ago. Put that pipeline down there. You may see more line nursing than you've seen. I'm a neat freak, and this is actually how I pencil. That's why I have to go ahead and get right into the penciling, because I will nurse the heck out of a line to get the effect that I want. This sash in here, going with the contour of the body, making sure it reads as if it was wrapping. And I'd say I fell in love with the brushes here in Clip Studio. Procreate, I use all, like you heard me say I use Procreate, so I know my way around Procreate. And you know, I also have Clip Studio for iPad, but I rarely use it. One of my instructors actually teaches from iPad, and it's amazing. When I tell you he is Brian Atkins, this dude is an amazing instructor. I'll have that wrapping like I want. So I gotta put that. Boom. Go. Well, it's a little bit thicker than I want. And it just feels good to finally be doing this. This is something that's been eating away at me. If I'm being honest, it's something that I really wanted to do for a while. But like I said, last year, my siblings and I were in the throes of saying goodbye to our mom. And so it wasn't, you know, when you're going through that, if anyone's lost a loved one, you guys know that a lot of things don't really seem nearly as important, you know. I'm going to zoom in on his face a little bit. I do want to give him more of a pronounced brow. Some jewelry going on. I'm gonna come back to that ear. Sharper eraser. So. Yeah, I don't need that soft eraser. I need something sharp like the pen that I'm using. If I get silent, feel free to ask questions if anybody's here. I'm in a flow state right now. It's part anxiety to make sure that I get this done and develop this this new habit, and part I want to do justice to these characters that mean so much to me personally and to the comic book landscape as a whole. I think on the original design, what I did was I actually added some tribal markings, scars, which is I referenced on several sites to try to find something that added to the richness of his African heritage. Now, technically, he's not the first African American superhero. He is the first black superhero, but he's of African descent. So I like to make that distinction. Still worthy of acknowledgement. Paved the way for the likes of Black Panther and Black Lightning and Falcon and all the others that we know in today's comic marketplace. This jewel like this. I want to put a nice big like stone. There we go. And see, I wanted to kind of keep the African notes present without going overboard, and so that was very, very important to me at the time. These lines are a lot looser than I like them to be. I like my lines a little bit stiffer. Rotating the canvas so I don't break my arm. I'm using the mapping pen. A lot of times I use the G pen. There's subtle differences between the two. I think the mapping pen gives me, because of its design, gives me a little bit more of the precision that I like. But play with all of them. I don't even have all my quick keys set yet. Let me pull up my reference really quick. I don't have a set system in place yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. You can see his features a little bit. I pull him up here on the screen. There we go. And there you can kind of see the tribal markings that I was talking about. I kind of made them a different color, tribal scars. So we're gonna start adding those. Got a tangent there, just a little bit unappealing, so I'll pull back that eyeshadow a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that. And you know, in many African cultures, the tribal tattoos and the scarring, it's not abuse, people. It is a rite of passage. It's to show that someone has entered into adulthood or someone's a warrior. And, you know, I wanted to kind of add those elements to this character. So I wanted to pay homage to the original, but I wanted to kind of add some level of relevance, cultural relevance, outside of him just being dark-skinned and from Africa. I wanted to put some of the culture in here. You see how I'm breaking up the line so it's not a continuous line? I'm going to play with that line weight just so that it reads as a skin scarring, not as, you know, makeup. I'm gonna use a broken line to do that, and then I'll vary some of the shadows, some of the like I'll make some things thick and thin for the line weight in there, so that it reads has a little subtle unevenness that happens with scarring. Go ahead and break up this line here. So I wanted to wrap around his head. So it's got to reflect on the outside as well. It's kind of keloidal, kind of. I have keloids from injuries and surgeries. That's usually what we're looking at when we're looking at pronounced scars. We're looking at the keloids. And so I want to have it a little bit raised. Touching, because that can be a little disruptive. Happy Wednesday, all. If anybody has any ideas of the next character they'd like to see, I actually have a list. I compiled a list of characters that I wanted to approach that were significant in Black comic book history. But I'm not above. Some are going to be retro, some are going to be new. I want to kind of have enough variety, you know, because it all matters. Our stories matter, even, you know. Make no mistake, a lot of these stories were not, you gotta remember these characters at this time, they were not drawn or um, written by a black person, and so with that being said, we have to be kind to some of the interpretations, but because when we're living now, it's a prime time to kind of pivot, and really make them us. They were black-splaining. Like my wife says, mansplaining. Back then they were black-splaining. And I'm not even saying my way is the best way. I would not be that arrogant and foolhardy. But I love these characters, and I love our black people, my people, and I want to make sure that when all is said and done, when we talk about representation, that we are talking about accurate and meaningful representation. Accurate and meaningful. I can live with that face. I think the head may be a little bit big. I have a tendency to make my heads big. Let me see if I can whittle this cranium down a little bit. I have a tendency to make my heads big. I told my students that. We all have, every artist has a thing. Me, and I think it's because my head is big. Because my head is big, that I have a tendency to be a little bit generous on the cranial matter. My wife never misses an opportunity to tell me. I ain't talking about like big as an ego. I'm talking about literally like a big skull. My wife never misses an opportunity. Never. I'm gonna bring all this down. And that's fine. I'm just gonna make it more manageable there, to a point where I can look at it and be like, okay, yeah, I can live with that size. I was streaming earlier. I stream on my studio platform. I started that this year too, daily. And I was explaining to one of the brothers that was hanging out with me the head thing, because I did the same thing there. Too big of a head. Let me zoom out. So we have the forehead, boom, boom. I can bring that down just a little bit more. There we go. I can live with that. Yeah, I can live with that. There we go. That's a manageable skull. That is a manageable skull. What up, Kay? I'm back at it, man. I'm back at it for Black History Month. How's your day, brother? This is my brother Kevin Murphy, writer extraordinaire of KDS Entertainment. Trying to get this habit up, man. And trying to represent the people for Black History Month, man. Trying to do my contribution. For Black History Month. Working on Lothar. My design of Lothar. The real first black superhero. Thank you, sir. I'm trying. Gotta mean to double tap that because it keeps giving me the pencil. I'm gonna have to change that quick key. And when working digitally, always, don't stay zoomed in. Get a view of the picture as a whole, because we can get so zoomed in that we kind of lose track of, really good proportions. And speaking of which, this arm is too short. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make that bigger. Boom. Because what I'm looking at is if the arm were to be straightened, where would it fall in the thigh? Right? There we go. So, yeah, the arm needed to be considerably larger. Now, if I was just sketching and doodling, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It'd just be what it is. And also I think, I kind of like the mass of it now that I did that, because he is, one of the strongest men in the world. So we'll just go with that. And go back to my red right here on this other layer and put this vest here. Just so I don't confuse the underdrawing. There we go. Boom. There we go. And we'll go ahead and flush that out. There we go. Cool. All right, we're back at it. Yeah, I like that. We're good. We're good. We're good there. Did you have a good day today, brother? Hope it was productive. I hope some deals got made. Be on the lookout for KDS Entertainment, people, because my man's got some IPs and some things in the pipeline that are exciting to me. They're exciting. They're exciting. You still add? I know I should have figured as much. Should have figured as much. He's also a fellow foodie. Me and Kev, we kind of go back and forth with our food fetishes. And yeah, he and I both have a passion for good food. Put the sash here. Put the other sash back here in the back. I might come back and add some movement to that later. We'll see. We're going to add our blade here. Am I gonna have to move both of y'all? Let me see. Shift, Command T, and T. Move y'all here so I get all of that. And there we go. Cool. I'll make sure I get that blade all the way in, that Bowie blade. Now always remember, here's a lot of things I see a lot of amateur artists do. They don't draw through, and you got to draw through the form, people. You got to make sure that your lines are continuing through the hand, and that everything's landing where it should. Draw through the form. Now, if I was sketching this, I would physically, like on the red layer, I'd go here, go to my pencil, and I just do this all the way through the form, like that. all the way through the fist to make sure that the lines are smooth and continuous. A lot of young artists, they will stop on the outside of the fist or the object that's on the top, and they will finish on the other side. And then things end up looking a little bit weird. Draw through. I can always tell when someone has not drawn through an image. It may look good at the first pass, but trust me, you get in front of someone that you ask their opinion about your art, and they know what they're looking at. They're like, it screams, you didn't draw through. It doesn't take a lot. Just go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that final knuckle is small right there. And see the fist. Now I erase this thumb because I don't need it, because the thumb is on the opposite side of the hilt. Line with a little beard. I'm still getting used to kind of the pen pressure here. Still getting a little used to the pen pressure here. Daughter's calling me. She's calling to check on her daddy. Let me let her know. My daughter's in Arizona, people. So when she calls daddy, I got to make sure that I pause what I'm doing. So this is live, y'all. This is live. I'm that parent because they are always, even they're adults, they're still my babies. And when she's out of town, since she's not here, daddy worries. So I don't want to send her just a voicemail. I got to let her know I'm streaming. You can join daddy live. She's also she's another one of my foodie buddies. My daughter is an incredible, I don't even call her a cook, I call her an amateur chef. Kevin and I are both amateur chefs. And the only reason I say amateur is because we don't do it for a living. But that brother cooks like a pro, I'm sure. I haven't tasted it, but man, he sends me pics and he posts them online, and they are amazing. This is why we stay in the gym. Drawing live is not as easy as most people think. It's funny, you think, the common thought is you do it anyway, you're just letting people watch. What's missing oftentimes, at least for me, is a level of focus when you're just kind of like really into the piece that you're working on. And like when we're drawing, we're not talking, right? And if we do, we're kind of like what I'm doing tonight anyway, kind of talking to ourselves, right? I think Kevin's still in here, but for the most part, if you're live streaming, you got to be prepared to talk to yourself, but you got to engage people. And that's the trick. That's the trick and especially, I'm kind of used to it because I teach and I'm explaining anyway when I'm doing demos in class for the students. Make sure I save this. I got all this way and didn't save. Okay, we'll go to boom, back up. Name, things Ka-Pow. We'll save you there for now. Moving a little bit slow because I'm live streaming. We'll save it in the Black History Month folder. There we go. All right, cool. All right. I do say he is still working. When you're trying to build something, work never ceases. You know, everybody that's in my circle, like Kevin, we are all very much on purpose and very intentional with our time and our efforts. And I'm so fortunate to have a circle of busy people. You know, I'm very fortunate to have a circle of busy people. I don't want that pipeline going up around that shoulder because that's what we'll do anatomically. I think we'll go all the way up that shoulder, boom, like that. Yeah, like that. I can live with that. I can live with that. So the very first black superhero with powers. I would love to see somebody. I believe he's public domain now. I believe he's a public domain character. I just don't have any. Number one, I haven't heard any demand for it, but I would love to explore. If I were to do a Lothar story, I would explore his why he left Africa to follow Mandrake. I just couldn't take it, you know, on the nose that he just wanted to follow a Caucasian adventurer, you know, because his life as a prince was so unfulfilling. You know, how he got his powers, right? What happened that he, you know, was blessed with the strength of 7 elements. I would just kind of use that as a metaphor. I had the strength going through the ceiling, like he'd be up there with, you know, Luke Cage and, you know, the powerhouses that we're all familiar with. And because he's the first, I definitely have to bump up his power level. You know? But I would do a story exploring his life in his kingdom, why he left, you know, why he really left. Give him a really good antagonist, a love interest. You know, what was it about? Why, you know, why did he leave? Was he exiled? You know, the whole 9 yards. You know, one of the things we teach at Ka-Pow is story above all. And one thing Lothar never really had was a really compelling story. I think even when they picked him up, I believe it's Boom Studios. If someone is watching this that is familiar with the more recent incarnations of Lothar, please let me know. I believe it was Boom Studios, but one of the things that bothered me is like they still never really explored the character. You know, I want to know who he is, right? Let's give him an origin story that is worthy of his stature. And so I just kind of visually, you know, when I was doing my design of the character, I just really wanted to, you know, play. I just really wanted to play. So I'll go ahead and move this out the way. Bump, bump, bump. I just really wanted to play with the character and explore the facets of him, you know. We're already at, wow, I think I started at 5:30. So I think I got another hour. I think I can get him done in another hour. If not, I'm going to sit here and get them done anyway and just penalize myself and hopefully be able to find something still open for dinner. I'm not very slow. It's just like I said, I've had a lot of technical issues today, and mentally I'm not fully in the game. It's like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. There we go. This lapel, that leopard lapel. Let's zoom out so I can make sure I get this chest right. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna add that shadow underneath his chin. This chin's a little mushy for me. Not my style. I like chiseled. Cool. It's quiet around these pots. And I have to keep playing this music because I only have a, well, I have other music. Let me play some other music. Where's it at? Let me play some copyright-free lo-fi. I think we have music. There we go. Cool. Make sure we have our wrinkles right. You never want your bunches to look a little bit, you want them to look kind of dynamic and kind of random, but they have to feel like folds. I might do a, it's funny, I'm looking for stuff to do here on YouTube, and I watch so many videos of other artists, and I think that's a bad thing, because I guess it's just a matter of your voice being heard. You know, my thing is, oh, this has been done, this has been done, this has been done. But I guess the power in social media is that no one says it like you, right? And I do believe that whatever the tribe is going to look like for Ka-Pow moving forward, you know, beyond the Black History Month when we're doing just lessons and draw-alongs and stuff like that, I really do believe that, I hope that my tribe finds me. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna not do anything because it's been done. I know I have a unique spin, and I know my students kind of like my spin. But it can be a little bit intimidating when you look at the landscape. You know, needless to say, I'm late to the party, but I don't believe you're ever too late. You know, my goals here for our social media are ambitious to say the least. But now that I have a team of incredible artists working at the school, and we kind of have our identity and our culture, for the most part, ironed out, I think I'm gonna do it like I would do it. You know? I'm not very big into hatching, cross hatching. I just do a little bit. I think it can overpower a piece, and the style that I'm trying to achieve doesn't really call for a lot of it. How's he looking? If anybody's watching, hope you guys are digging it so far. I'm gonna go ahead and start zipping through these outlines in this form. If you're watching this on replay, please put the comments, like, subscribe, follow, the whole 9 yards. Check us out everywhere at Ka-Pow School on social media. We are taking enrollment applications for the 23-24 year one. If anybody is interested, we don't take everybody. Just know that. The school that I'm building is one that I want to be proud of. I want students that are committed to learning the craft, that are committed to the work involved. We won't even talk about excellence. Let's just talk competence. My students know they kind of know me, and they kind of know how I'm wired. And they know that, I won't even put excellence on you, but let's just talk about being competent, being noteworthy in your execution. And so, those are the kind of students we want. We're building, a school of I'm trying to put future pros out here, and tell my students, you guys are better than any ad I could create, right? Or run on Google ads or, Instagram ads. You guys are it. You guys are the best ad. People that are actually out there creating their stories, working in the industry, producing their web comics, whatever your goal is. That's the feather in the cap of my school. And so we want people that are committed to that. You know, we know that what we do is a novelty, it's not a necessity, but the power of story. You know, I'm actually designing a shirt. And, I try to do I'm doing another Black History shirt similar to the one Black History commemorative shirt. And if it's something you guys might be interested in, I might make a store. I don't have the audience to justify a store, admittedly. But if it's something you guys are interested in, I'll make a store of Ka-Pow merchandise. It won't be what my students and I wear because, again, when you're in the school, I want my students to feel unique and special for committing to this. And, you know, we have our own private social media community. You know, I've pulled out a lot of things to make sure that, you know, even though it's a virtual online format, that it's something that you want to be a part of, you know. So there is a level of exclusivity being a Ka-Pow student. But if you guys are interested in Ka-Pow merch, I can design something. I got people. Shout out to Rock-A-Block. He didn't do these t-shirts, but he's a brother who has an incredible t-shirt business. And I know, you know, me included, I get a lot of stuff on, you know, print on demand, you know, but I do believe in supporting Black-owned businesses. And so I'm keeping my promise to my brother that I'm going to design a shirt that is sustainable, that'll be exclusive to his shop, and he will print all those shirts for me. I want to get some hoodies made because it's cold here in Chicago. This t-shirt, like, just FYI, while my wife's out of town, I gotta leave out to go get something to eat. It's cold. it's so cold. And I don't hate the cold after, you know, 27 years in a squad car. Granted, I do hate the cold. Take that back. I hate the cold. But I know how to navigate it so where it doesn't kill me. You know, I'm not afraid to go out in it. But I ain't trying to go out in it if I don't have to. Which is another motivation to get a respectable Lothar done in a timely manner so I can go get something to eat while some of the local joints are still open. Don't want that one. Those lines gotta be finished. Someone once asked me, did I prefer digital over traditional? And believe it or not, I still prefer traditional over digital. Digital has its benefits, granted, you know, undo. Hey, Pipe! Thank you. Thank you. I hope everything's well with you. This is a longtime supporter of me and my school, from social media. An incredible person. I got to meet them in person at C2E2, and brought me so many gifts. I felt so unworthy. But I love connecting with people that support us. If you heard me say before, I don't do fans. I don't call anybody a fan. We have supporters, right? I think fans, you know, the term fan can be in follow. I don't like using the word follower. I like family, right? When you guys follow us, when you follow us, as in the technical follow on social media, you become part of the family. But Piper is a longtime supporter. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You are amazing. You are amazing. This is Lothar, the very first. I'm doing this every night, Monday through Friday, pipe, 5 days a week. This is the first attempt at that. So we shall see how it goes, if I can maintain. And I'm committed to it. I've been streaming daily on my studio. We're now up to 4 episodes there. I'm still pretty much talking to myself, but I don't care. People like Kevin come and join me, and but I'm in the growing process. This is a new venture, pipe. You're going to be seeing a lot of me now that the school is kind of in full swing. I kind of got to get out in the social media streets and let people know that we exist now and that we're doing something worth that's noteworthy. So yeah, so social media is going to help keep my sanity, so I don't have to do so many cons. Hopefully that we'll get, students for the school. They kind of like how we show up here, and part of showing up here is actually showing up. So yeah, I got to show up. So I'm showing up this year, pipe. I'm showing up this year. Gotta put this one's put here. And then this one. So yeah, just trying to show up. Just trying to show up. We have amazing supporters. Just trying to show up this year. I can't be solo like my name's sake. I have to be public. More public. Because I'm such a natural introvert, as my nickname denotes. Hint, hint. But can't be introverted and run a business, right? Can't be introverted and have a studio trying to get properties out in the world. You gotta kind of come out your shell. And for me, that's, believe it or not, that's like most introverts, that's hard. It's very hard, but necessary. Hard but necessary, my friend. How's your comic going, Pipe? Piper has an amazing graphic novel that was funded on Kickstarter a while ago, based off of experience as a corrections officer, and was actually enjoyed it. I'm not saying a lot, because I get so much stuff handed to me that, quite frankly, sometimes I'm like, you sure you don't want to come to my school? You might like it. You might like it. Go ahead and make a leopard skin pattern here. Actually, let me go ahead and lasso this, so I don't go crazy. All right. We're going to make a faux leopard skin pattern. So yeah, I'll be back on my Honor Studios stream, which is, as I say, that's me on a plate. To coin cooking terms, that's me on a plate. With my own IPs. That's usually in the morning. I haven't got a set time. I'm still shooting for 7 a.m. till 9. It's going to be 2 hours like this one, but it's where I work on my own IPs, things that I actually own, and I get on my soapbox a little bit. It may not be for everybody, but it's It's how I love. It's how I communicate. This is my business, and so my delivery here is a little different, even though I'm the same everywhere. I think if you check out Honor Studios, you kind of see some things might make sense on how I deliver and how I speak. Things may, and how I try to show up. That's very much always Honor Studios. All right, man. Go ahead, bro. I appreciate your support. You have a good night. You have a good night, man. Love you, man. God bless. Yes, this is a man telling another man that he loves him. And I do. I'm not ashamed to say that. That's my brother from another mother. He has supported me for years, encouraged and been in my corner, and yeah, so I can say that unapologetically. I think we'd be in a much better place as humans if we were able to operate from a place of love more, if we just operate from a place of love more often. So yeah, this is my take on the classic Lothar. This is solidified Lothar, solidification. Similar to like what I used to do as a kid, always, reimagine. I think we've all done that. Anybody who's ever picked up a pencil and wanted, to start playing as an artist. We start off by drawing the characters that we love, and then we do our versions of said characters. Got a little pinwheel of death going on here. This morning, oh my gosh, it was so bad. If you all were here with this, if you guys checked me out in the morning at Honor Studios, oh my gosh, it was so bad. I had to restart the stream like three times, I think. And it turned out it was just one file that was just messing up everything. It was one file. And by the grace of God, I found out which file it was. I was able to delete it because I just wanted to come on tonight. I knew that if I didn't, I feel like crap because I like to do what I set out to do. And I told my students, I said, my students value my frankness, and sometimes I can come off as a little rough. And I told them, you all would appreciate how I talk to you if you heard my internal dialogue. And I'm not abusive in any way. I'm just, I'm very, I'm a retired cop. I'm very matter of fact, and I don't do a lot of excuses, but I care. I think everybody that knows me knows that I do. Because when you become a student, you, like I said, you're part of the family. You're just not a student. You are, I care about what's going on in your life, and what's happening at home, and what's happening on the job. Our mantra at the school is it's a real school for real people with real lives, and so we kind of keep that front and center, the real part. And because of that, I'm hearing something. I'm hearing something. Hold on a second. Rain showers and thunder showers along that frontal system, and that wide band of fairly heavy snow. What will happen? It's like I'm hearing a commercial. You'll see the frontal system on there that begins at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll see the cloud pattern move until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So as of that time, of course, the front was way off in the north. It sounds like a weather. It sounds like a weather report. Where is that coming from? That is bizarre. That is so bizarre. That is crazy. I was actually hearing like it sounded like a weather report. Sound like a weather report. Crazy. Crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear it on that end. And I still hear it.
Fairly heavy band of rain showers all over the eastern portions of Florida, down to western sections of Nevada, and of course the massive high, picking up warm moist air from the south, bringing it.
All right, let me see if I have anything open that I didn't realize. Cool. I don't know what I'm hearing the sound from. Hopefully, I don't know if it's coming through on the stream. I ain't got nothing else playing. I'll have to find the source of that later. To that. It's funny, when I'm working traditionally, I actually move faster than I do digitally. I don't know why that is. I guess because it's native to me. Kind of like a thicker outline on all the exterior lines. See, somebody gave me a thumbs down. Here's the funny thing. I notice stuff like that, but it really doesn't faze me because, like I said, after being a cop for so long, you kind of get used to being, you know, unliked. So, like, I hear my kids and stuff talk about their friends, like, they unfollowed me, and it's just, like, bizarre to me. I get it. You know, I get it. That's the modern day version of spitting in your face. I just don't, it just, like I said, after years, 27 years in law enforcement, being needed but not necessarily wanted simply because of the uniform I wear, you know, I get it. I get it. So yes, I see. I don't know if that was intentional, but somebody gave me a thumbs down. That's fine. God bless you anyway. Like I said, you know, here's the thing. People think about social media is like I said, your tribe will find you. They'll find you and they will rock with you. And that's, you know, it's either do it or don't play. So many people are like afraid, like even some of the people that pass through my hands teaching, you know, it's hard coaching someone past the skin necessary to put yourself out into the world. And that's what you're doing when you go on social media. You're really putting yourself out there in a very, very real way. And it's not for everyone, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody. And I totally understand why. It's easy to get your feelings hurt, you know. And I grew up, I was a bullied kid, which is probably why I rage so against bullies of any kind. Probably added to my superhero complex when I was a police officer, when I was a police supervisor. Happy Black History Month, people. Add some weight, some gravitas to those knuckles. I like a more open look in my art, so I don't do like I said, I don't do a lot of shadow, a lot of cross hatching. I will do some hatching, but not a lot of cross hatching. It's just my preference. Some of my favorite artists are very heavy hatchers and cross hatchers. That's just not a style that I wanted for my work. You still appreciate it in others' work, you know. Save button. I would love to have a co-host for this. I have to do some recruiting. I have to do a little bit of recruiting. Put this in shadow. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Put all that in shadow. Make that pop. Don't want that. I have to close some of those, but I do like that. Go in and close some of these gaps. You know, I have this historic issue with fear of using too much black. I'm trying to get over it. Don't give me flack about this music. It's all copyright free. But I'm sure I'm probably going to get a strike, especially on Facebook, which means I'm going to have to respond. And and all that fun stuff. Start putting it in the bio that all the music is copyright free. But we're gonna get through it, people. We're gonna have a blast doing it. It's gonna get better, trust. Trying to actually develop my style where I use less line and use more, accent to line. Just trying to grow. Leave some blacks here, but some white spaces there. Yeah, I kind of dig how he's coming out. I can live with it. Got the leopard skin pattern here. Leopard skin is kind of like a circular with like a dot with a squiggly like circles around it. So stuff you pay attention to when you're trying to get stuff somewhat accurate. This is my iteration of Lothar. Shadow that button, shadow that button. Has some stress coming from it. A little stress coming from the button. There we go. Chest. So now that I started inking with brushes, I've kind of grown up a little bit, and I really appreciate how with a brush, with a real like paintbrush, how easy it is just kind of lay down areas of color. edge on this bad fella. Let's break it up a little bit. I'll break it up just a little bit. See how I want this hand to go. And then we're gonna wrap this up. I got a 2-hour limit. I didn't quite hit it, but I'm recording all of this, and this will all be, I'm going to do an additional video of the actual process that's not live, where I give facts about the character, the whole 9 yards. You see where we came from, this little sketch here, right? It was only like a few inches high to where we are right now. Ooh, wrong layer. Down a bit more so I can get a better feel for what's happening. Play with this fist. I really don't have that much further to go. African style hammer. Kind of give him a little Thor action, but it's tech based. I don't know if you guys can check it out inside of in the window. I don't know if you can see it or not. But like here, see I have I took a African weapon, a hammer, club, whatever it's called. I don't know the real name of it, but I found it in my search, and I'm like, oh, let's make that a tech item. You know, kind of make it feel like Thor, but without the mysticism, because he's got enough mysticism in his own origin. See, every opportunity I took, I was trying to add a little, you know, cultural relevance. Barely see the tech that's on his arm, because his hand is facing, his palm is facing towards us, so we don't really see it. That's not how I designed it. Go back through that again. Make that more apropos. Cool. Happy Wednesday. Happy Black History Month, everyone. And if you guys would like me to do more, and I don't want you to think it's just Black History because I'm black. Granted, that is a personal mission of mine, and I invested in it. But I was, you know, I'm also open to doing other culturally relevant events. So, you know, Asian heritage, American Asian heritage, and if you like to see stuff like that with superheroes and characters that represent your culture when the appropriate time, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section, and I'm definitely open to that. I want everyone to feel represented. You know, we have a culturally diverse school, and I love my students, you know, and I love hearing about their experiences and, you know, the stories that they're, you know, pulling from their various cultures. And so, yeah, we want everyone's welcome here, everybody. I just need a reason to draw. That's it. That looks weird. Let me get under here really quick on this underdrawing. I historically get a lot of credit for my hands, and I think the reason that is because I really try to get my hands right. And It's got to feel right. They can't be too big. They can't be too small. They have to match the previous hand, the other hand that it's already drawn. They have to be scaled. So the knuckles will come and wrap around here. Wrap around here. And so we would feel if he had, I'd do something like this. If I want, so this thumb kind of come kitty corner here. So we'd see more of that pinky. And this will be smaller. Unless I separate it from the other fingers. Yeah, I think we can do that. I think I'm pressing too hard too because my hand's getting tired. You want a straight line, pull from the elbow, not from the wrist. They give you the straightest line possible. Finger being a little smaller than the others. He wouldn't nearly wrap around as much. Yeah, that works. We're still beating AI with our ability to draw hands, artists. That's a little pun on our roundtable discussion that we had a few weeks ago here at Ka-Pow. Let's see. Facing forward a little bit more. It should be facing forward because it's wrapping around something that has a little bit more. So that thumb should be boom. That. Yeah, yep. You wouldn't get, normally the thumb typically falls right around the second finger. When you make a fist, right? When we make a fist, see how the thumb comes almost to that second finger, almost to the third. We make a tight fist, but when we put something that has volume in there, that thumb kind of lifts, right? And so I'm trying to get that, and we see he's holding a pole, something, a weapon, so the thumb doesn't, knuckle all the way around. That's another thing I see a lot of artists do that is a little bit inaccurate. And even though we're doing a parody of real life, try to get as close as possible. That's what I would strongly, recommend for a lot of people. Get as close as possible. It doesn't have to be like completely off. stroke it? I don't know all these. Nope. 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 Invert. Nope. 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 Expand. Nope. 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 Scale fill. Nope. 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 Select. I don't know how to stroke it. All right. Because it's not like Photoshop. I can just stroke a selection. Let's see. Let me. Snap. Nope. Nope. Snap. Short border. Let's just see margin 8s. Making lips. Is that what I want? I think that's what I want. I think that's what I want. I think I need a bigger brush size on it. Let's see. Yeah, I think I need a bigger brush size on it. Alright, so we're gonna put this brush size to around 11 or 12. Oh, too big. But I like that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Okay. That's 13. We're gonna make this. Make it 10. Yeah, that's better. Boom. And then I'm gonna make another one. Nope. Yep. That's what I want. Boom. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I'm digging that. I'm digging that. I am digging that. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do, wow, time is flying. We're gonna make a part 2 of this for Black History Month. We're gonna finish up Lothar tomorrow, and then we're going to start on a fresh one. We're gonna start on a fresh one. All month long here at Ka-Pow, we are celebrating Black History Month. Let me turn and face you guys in the real camera. All right, thank you guys so much for joining in. If you're still here, thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you've enjoyed so far our celebration and acknowledgement of Black History Month here at Ka-Pow the Comic Art Academy. I am Doc Solo, the director of Ka-Pow the Comic Art Academy, and if you are interested in learning how to draw like the pros, check us out anywhere on social media. And if you'd like to apply to be enrolled in our school, the Real Art School for real people with real lives, I created this school to be the type of school that I wish was around when I was really in the throes of trying to learn the comic craft, okay? From anatomy to perspective to environments, to textures, to storytelling, to writing. We cover it all at Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy. And though we don't talk price, good luck finding a more affordable option with real interaction. It's not a video library. That it's an actual classroom environment, structured, organized, supportive, with a private social media community. Download our app if you just want ideas on what to draw. Download our app at powerpromptapp.com. The Ka-Pow Power Prompt. I'm going to be doing some streams here, also drawing directly from the prompt, which is one of my exercises that I use to kind of stay sharp. And I created the app for people that just kind of run out of ideas. You know, we all are busy, and sometimes, you know, I remember when I was in the squad car, I'd have a 30-minute break if I was lucky. And if I had a chance to actually pull out my sketch pad in the squad car while on lunch break, I didn't want to spend 10-15 minutes on a 30-minute break trying to figure out what to draw. So I created an app that overcomes creative bias. It gives you an idea right out the bat, so that you can just dive right in and push yourself and grow. With every stroke, you want to grow in a very meaningful way, every stroke of your pencil. And so check out our app at powerpromptapp.com. Check us out at kapowschool.com. Follow us, like, subscribe, follow. We're trying to grow here and everywhere, whether you're watching us on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. Check us out, all right? We're not streaming to Instagram Live yet because we don't have producer, but I am on Instagram. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. And I'd like you to hang out and become part of the tribe. So with that being said, I'm going to bid you all adieu. I got to go find me some vittles because wife ain't here. And even though I can cook, I don't feel like cooking today. And so I'm about to trudge out into this cold weather, this cold Chicago winter, and hunt me down some fast food. And then wake up at 4:30 in the morning and hit the gym and try to work it off. So God bless you guys. Have a good night and keep on drawing. Solo out.